The story begins with Chang, our main protagonist, who is a typical college student who still lives with his parents. He spends most of his days in his room studying sinology, an academic study of history and art. Because of his father, he is a well-known sinology scholar. Chang has been fascinated with sinology since he was a child, but his approach is very different from his father's conservative ways. Chang's father is angry because the neighbors have complained that Chang uses sinology to read their fortunes. His father disapproves of his son using this academic art by reading palms and then telling fortunes. Chang is upset with his father for constantly criticizing him, so he decides to go to a nearby sinology bookstore and prove to him that his methods are correct. When he enters the bookstore, it is very old and empty, and after a while, he finds a specific book with ancient Chinese symbols. After hearing strange voices, Chang rushes out of the bookstore with his new book. He witnesses a couple of gang members assaulting a woman on the street. The gang members recognize Chang as the neighborhood fortune teller who reads palms and approach him. The leader of the gang, Li Chang, tries to take Chang's book, but he refuses and flees. He managed to flee his pursuers. But then, all of a sudden, a massive force field appears and surrounds the entire park. Mysterious figures emerge in a flash of light, and they are revealed to be Li Chang wielding his holy weapon. A giant soldier wielding a deadly sword has decided to punish Chang. Li Chang's holy weapon throws Chang to the ground before ordering his soldier to finish him off. Chang, however, accidentally summons his own holy weapon just before he dies. A legendary warrior with white hair and armor appears at the last moment and saves Chang. This legendary warrior is known as Zhao Bai, and he easily protects Chang. He conjures up a powerful ball of energy and blasts his opponents away. After he takes Chang to a safe location where he has many questions and is confused. Meanwhile, Li Chang is in excruciating pain and falls to the ground and vanishes. Han is the name of this participant. They serve an organization called Tanzan Hall. Han insists on Chu joining their organization, but she declines. Chang analyzes the situation and acts like a nerd. When he puts what he's learned into practice and flirts with Chu, the two newcomers summon their weapons and engage in a battle. Zhao Bai engages in a lightning-fast battle across the skies with an assassin-like holy weapon, but Chu decides it's time to call it a day. She calls her two holy weapons that are husband and wife. However, the two guys decide it's too dangerous and retreat. Chang is invited to Chu's massive mansion to train for the trials. She tells Chang that any spirit warrior can have two spirit weapons if he pays a hefty sum of $100,000. Also, if the spirit weapon dies in battle, so does the spirit warrior. Chu then pulls money and finances for Chang's second summon, allowing him to complete his second contract with Bang Tian. Cheyenne is the name of this participant. They serve an organization called Tanzan Hall. Cheyenne insists on Chu joining their organization, but she declines. Chang analyzes the situation and acts like a nerd. When he puts what he's learned into practice and flirts with Chu, the two newcomers summon their weapons and engage in a battle. Chao engages in a lightning-fast battle across the skies with an assassin-like holy weapon, but Chu decides it's time to call it a day. She calls her two holy weapons that are husband and wife. However, the two guys decide it's too dangerous and retreat. Chang is invited to Chu's massive mansion to train for the trials. She tells Chang that any spirit warrior can have two spirit weapons if he pays a hefty sum of $100,000. Also, if the spirit weapon dies in battle, so does the spirit warrior. Chu then pulls money and finances for Chang's second summon, allowing him to complete his second contract with Bang Tian. The next day, Chu goes for a walk with her holy weapons gang and Mo. Suddenly a small boy with a red hair, revealing himself to be Mei Jin, Gang and Mo's reincarnated son. He summons his own holy weapon and activates a force field around them and they start to fight. Chang and Zhao Bai arrive late, but they join the fight. Mo and his gang are unable to repel this highly skilled holy weapon. Suddenly, Mei Jin got a headache and Mi decides to release them because his vengeance is not yet complete. Later, at Chu Mansion, the gang and Mo revealed that they were blacksmiths who lived in peace until an evil war lord launched an attack on them. They were tasked with creating specific, legendary weapons. Their son was raised by an evil man who eventually pushed him to commit suicide. Their son's soul has returned, but it has been corrupted. The next day, one of the Tanzan clan's mysterious members appears. Mr. Yi is his name, and he demands that Chang be invited to their meeting. Chang, on the other hand, has been summoned home by his father. His father is furious with Chang and forbids him from ever seeing Chu again. He's also embarrassed that his son is neglecting his college studies. Meanwhile, Mr. Yi reveals that the ancient Chan Lu has been summoned and is behind the Mei gang's actions. Mo notices that their son is assaulting people and lighting them on fire. Chu also contacts Chang and orders him to return to her mansion and protect it, as she anticipates an attack. Another member of the Thetan clan appears and manages to overpower the gang, and Mo, who decides to combine their powers in a final attack attempt. Chang and the rest of the mansion's staff arrive and prepare for the attack. Many members of the Thetan clan are on their way to destroy it. Meanwhile, Chu continues the fight, but this time with a more powerful sword. When Thetan clan arrives, they are met by Fang Tian. The battle continues, and Chang and his friends are only just holding off. Suddenly, one of the clan's assassins gains the upper hand and goes in for the killing blow against Chang, but he is saved by Fang Tian, who steps in and takes a hit to protect him. The battle is paused because Chang is heartbroken over Fang Tian, who bids her farewells and dies from her wound. Chu returns to save Fang Tian to return to his weapon shape. The Tanzan clan brothers use all of their powers in their final attack. Chang uses his own blood to boost his spirit power, allowing Zhao Bai to launch a more powerful attack. He unleashes a massive blast, and the Tanzan clan flees once more, when Zhao Bai appears and kills one of the brothers without mercy. The surviving brother informs the chairman of what Zhao Bai did, and the chairman swears that he will take revenge. They visit Chang in the hospital because he needed medical care due to blood loss. Later, they are invited to a special meeting with the chairman in the middle of the forest. Chu and Chang arrive, and the chairman appears with the surviving brother. Chang must invite his holy weapon, according to the chairman. Zhao Bai appears, and it is revealed that the chairman is Jan Lu. He decides to fight Zhao Bai in order to avenge his fallen comrades. Jan has so much strength and speed that Zhao Bai can't keep up. Jan also has a special time travel ability that protects him from harm. Chang is still holding the spear from the Fang Tian when he realizes something is wrong. When Zhao Bai finally gains the upper hand in battle, Mr. Yi appears from the shadows and attacks Chang. Chang then combines himself with Fang Tian and powers to achieve a stronger form. Mr. Yi was then revealed to have been attacking spirit warriors and was the mastermind behind the Thetan clan that attacked the Chu's mansion. Jan Lu did not issue those orders. Also, in a shocking twist, Mr. Yi actually murdered one of the brothers, but he pretended to be Zhao Bai using his shape-shifting powers. Then a portal appears with Mei Jin and his holy weapon, and Mr. Yi escapes. Gang and Mo tried to stop their son Mei Jin, but he refuses to listen, and his holy weapon called Take, who is willing to do anything just to defeat its enemy. Jan apologizes to Zhao Bai for falsely accusing him and gives him a special memory shard. This shard activates Zhao Bai's powers, and he recalls someone telling him in the past that he must protect people. Take unleashes a massive black hole, transporting Chang and his friends to the Teizu zone, where Mei Jin and Take combine themselves to form a new evil form. Chu explains that Mei Jin's soul must have merged with the evil lord who controls him. Chang finally acquires with enough spirit power, and he and Zhao Bai perform a full harmony transformation. This new form now defeats Mei Jin and transports him away from the evil lord. Mr. Yi appears to have done something to Chang's mother. Then Chu receives a phone call informing her that something has happened to Chang's mother and rushes back home. He arrives across his mother, who is barely awake, and she tells him that he must save his father. His mother is later taken to the hospital and isn't waking up. Chang is enraged and realizes he had something to do with it. Zhao Bai turns cruel and declares that none of this matters and that the only goal should be hunting. Chang becomes enraged and tells Zhao Bai that he is nothing more than a puppet with no emotions. Zhao Bai later goes out drinking with Jan Lu and the two become friends. After a few hours, Zhao Bai arrives and he sees Chang. He apologizes and tells Chang that dealing with a family tragedy is always difficult. They reconcile and promise to help each other to defeat Mr. Yi. Zhao Bai, on the other hand, begins to recall parts of his past, such as when he was Tei's holy weapon. The last emperor Tei was the great spirit group leader and protector. When 10 legendary beasts appeared from a magical gate and wreaked havoc on the world, Tei and Zhao Bai engaged in endless battles with them. Tei used all of his powers to close the gate one day, but he died and the Zhao Bai was shattered into pieces. Back in the present, Jan Lu and Chu have gathered information about Mr. Yi, including his location. Chang and his friends descend into a labyrinth of underground caves, where he appears as a hologram and shows Chang's father in chain. He insists that Chang go through the portal alone so that they can talk. Chang walks through the portal and arrives. Mr. Yi informs Chang that every 1,000 years, a monstrous beast appears to destroy the world. They can also defeat and absorb the beast's powers if they join together. Zhao Bai finally arrives and slashes Mr. Yi's mask, revealing that he resembles Zhao Bai and that they were once both part of the same holy weapon. Zhao Bai has false memories of Tay because he actually assaulted him because he believed his holy weapon had betrayed him. Zhao Bai and Chang attempted to launch a powerful blast, but it failed. Chang and Zhao Bai attempt to fight, but he overwhelms them and beats Zhao Bai to the ground. He then begins to gradually absorb Zhao Bai in order to become even more powerful. He demonstrates to Zhao Bai how false his memories are. He was expelled from the kingdom after being assaulted by the people. Zhao Bai only watched as the final beasts attacked before going to see Tay killed. Zhao Bai starts to give up, but Chang comes to bring him back, promising he will never leave his friend. The two combined their powers once again and were able to defeat Mr. Yi, who then vanished into thin air. They free Chang's dad, but before they can celebrate, Chang's dad suddenly grabs Chang by the neck. Chang doesn't know what is happening, but his dad creates a giant sword, and just before he can kill him, Chang is saved by his friend, led by Chu. Chang's dad is so cruel and tells everyone to get out of his way. He then opens a portal and leaves. Chang is confused, and he thinks his dad is possessed by some evil spirit. Chang and Zhao Bai go to investigate at home. They find several clues, and Zhao Bai comes to a shocking revelation. Chang's dad isn't possessed. He was working with Mr. Yi. He was the culprit who attacked Chang's mother. A big concert is interrupted elsewhere, when Chang's father appears with his holy weapon and begins killing people. Zhao Bai and Chang rush out and they meet Chu. Suddenly a massive red explosion erupts through the city, and they proceed to the scene. There are no more people at the concert because they have been consumed by an evil queen who is Chang's holy weapon. Chang begs his father for an explanation, and Jan Lu tries to fight the queen but is easily defeated. Chang's father reveals that he was always a spirit warrior, and did not want his son to become one. He kept his true identity hidden from Chang and his mother. His ultimate goal was to be the one to obtain Zhao Bai, defeat the beast, and rule the world. It is also revealed that his plans were disrupted when his son summoned Zhao Bai. Finally, it is revealed that Chang is a reincarnation of Tay himself. Chang's father combines his powers with the evil queen and begins to open the closed gate that holds the beast. Chang discovers the power to fight his father in the final battle with the help of his friends. They are evenly matched until Chang attains a new form, at which point his father is defeated. He bids him farewell and tells him that he has finally matured. Chang and Zhao Bai close the gate and begin their new journey. Thank you for watching till the end, and please don't forget to subscribe.